All right, so in this video, we're going to get into the good stuff. This is how you're going to get into the back end of WordPress and start using the administrator panel. And when we are doing this, the easiest way to get there is to actually just type it into the URL place where you put in the URL. So what you're going to end up doing, and you're going to have this in your checklist, so you can use that checklist as reference to do this. But you're going to type in your domain name. So say your domain name was I love dogs, ilovedogs.com. Then you're going to do /WP, like William Paul, it stands for WordPress, dash admin, it stands for administrator, ADMIN. And so WP dash admin. So ilovedogs.com /WP dash admin. So on our test site, we're going to go into the panel, to the administrator panel. You're going to see something like this. And typically with your install, you're going to see something that says username and password, and usually it's going to be admin as your username. For security reasons, you might want to change that to something else, since everyone uses that. Since this is a test site, I don't care, but still, you want to make sure that you make it as secure as possible. So I would change this to maybe your first and last name, or first and last name together, and then whatever your password is, and that was set by the person who created your website for you. And then you're just going to log in. And you're going to see back here, you might see, it might look a little different than what I have here. Usually it'll have like a WordPress welcome screen and stuff. And depending on the plugins that you have, it's just going to look different. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you just a quick overview of the admin panel before we start doing anything. So you're going to have the dashboard here. This is your dashboard. You can do things like quickly add a post by entering a title, content, and tags. I usually don't recommend that, since you want to have really good SEO rich posts. But it's definitely there for you to use. You can even enter in different images and so on. Recent comments, if you have any comments. Incoming links, plugins, WordPress blog, news, and all that other stuff. And depending on the plugins that you have, you might have more stuff. All right, so after that, you have this sidebar. In the sidebar, you have a lot of different things. First is dashboard. You're going to have home and update. Home is just going to take you right back to where we're at right now. You're going to have updates here. Updates allow you to update your themes, and allows you to update your plugins. You always want to keep your plugins up to date, and it's very easy to do. And in fact, I'm going to show you how to do it right now because it's so important. You're going to go and click this, and it's going to show you if you have themes or plugins to update. You just select all, and then click update plugins. The reason being is each plugin, especially for security purposes, they update because maybe they find not only find that they have bugs, but they find that they might have vulnerabilities. And so as they see that they have these new vulnerabilities, they update those plugins. So just use that, and when you're using that, make sure that you keep your plugins up to date so that your site is secure. Next, you're going to have posts, and we're going to go into posts, but later on. But just briefly, posts are the things. This is the content that changes and adds on a regular basis. So, say you have press releases, or say that you have new deals that are coming out every week, or say that you have you're trying to advertise. Maybe you're in real estate. Maybe you're advertising a new home. This is where you are writing about that new home. And here, when you highlight, you're going to see off to the right new things that come up. All posts add new categories and tags. So and for all posts, it's going to take you to all the posts that you have. Add new is obviously going to add a new post. Categories, and we're going to go into this in a little bit, but I'll go over in an overview right now. Categories are how you organize your blog posts. Um, and tags do this a little bit too, but categories are like, for example, if you go into, say, a Barnes & Noble or a bookstore, just a bookstore in general, you're going to go to, you're going to see that it's categorized, each section is categorized in a certain way. So you have your business section, you have your romance section, you have your philosophy section. Those are the categories. These are very broad ways of organizing your content that you create. So you might have news, you might have productivity, you might have marketing, you might have homes in Huntington Beach, or you might have whatever. But they're very, very broad. Tags also help you to organize your thing, but these are more like when you go to the bookstore, you go to the specific category, say philosophy, but within philosophy you have modern philosophy, ancient philosophy, you have phenomenology, you have epistemology, you have all these different things in that category of philosophy. So that's what tags do. It allows you to tag these very specific organization items to that particular content. And for categories, you want to have between 1 and 3. I recommend just having 1 if you can do it. Tags, you can have as many as you like. I've never seen any adverse effect to having a lot of tags, but you just got to be careful that you want the tags to be relevant and so on. The next area, you're going to have media. This is your media library. When you're adding new pictures, adding new posts, and so on. Then you're going to have links. All your links. The links are things such as, this is kind of like a blog roll. This is where you would have links to different places on the web on your sidebar. A lot of people don't use this anymore. Google doesn't like having just all these different links linking all over the place. So a lot of people don't use them that much anymore. But you can add it, and then you can put it as a blog roll on your sidebar if you want. But it's not really that great anymore. They used to be all the rage. Then you have pages. Pages are like posts, but they are very different. They are static. These are things that are not going to change too often or at all. And these are things such as your about page, your disclaimer page, your terms and service page, your contact us page. All these pages, all these areas are things that you are not going to change too often. Then you have comments. This is your when people are actually commenting on the content that you have. Appearance allows you to change the theme, allows you to change your widgets, which widgets are usually on your sidebar, allows you to move things on your sidebar and so on. Menus allow you to change the navigation bar. So the navigation bar that we saw up on top, let me go to this real quick. The navigation bar that we saw up on the top here allows you to change what you want up there and where you want it, and if you want child pages and so on. So back to appearance, you have theme options. Different themes have different options. So you might have a theme that allows you to change the header or allows you to change the logo, depending on the theme that was given to you or developed for you. Depends on what that theme has, and sometimes the theme, depending on what they are, will actually not be, all the options might not be under appearance. It might be under another thing that's added on the sidebar. And the background and header is actually part of this particular theme, so you might not actually see that in your theme. Then you have the editor. The editor actually lets you edit the theme itself. So you can see all of this is the CSS, this is the style sheets. You can go and edit this if you absolutely wanted to. And then over here on the right hand side, you can edit your footer, header, and all that other stuff. Under appearance, you have plugins. Plugins are if you think about, for example, an iPhone. A lot of people have iPhones and smartphones now. The phone by itself is not that great. The phone by itself does not do much, right? It is the apps that come with the phone that really make it powerful. all of the apps for PayPal and for Mint.com and for all these different things. That's what makes that phone really, really powerful. Yes, you can do email and all other stuff with it, but what makes it powerful is the ability to extend what you have. So, for example, if you wanted to have something that created web forms for you, you can have a plugin that created webs. There's plugins out there that create web forms. If you have if you need something to do social sharing with on Twitter and so on, there are plugins out there, tons of plugins that allow you to do social sharing. If you say you needed to create landing pages, there are plugins out there that allow for that. So it's just a great way to extend what you already have with plugins. I'm going to go down to users. Users obviously are being able. This is where you can add new users, modify new users, change their information, and so on. So if you have more than one person in your business that's going to be on your blog, you can give them the ability to edit things. Say you have people who work under you that you want them to be able to create content, but you don't want them to be able to do any administrative functions. You can set them as an editor, you can set them as a contributor, and so on, and they have different functionalities per whatever permissions you give them. Under tools, this allows you to import and export different this allows you to import and export your blog posts and your content and all of the stuff that you have in your site. Settings, very important. You have your general settings, which is this is going to be your time and date, what your URL is, and so on and so forth. Writing is how your settings for when you write blog posts, and if you want to be able to enable things such as writing via email or through remote, being able to do it remotely through the iPhone app and so on. Reading is allows you to set how you want your blog post to be read, or your content to be read, rather I should say. So if you have an area where you do have news or whatever, you could have it set to where you only show 5 things, or you show 10 different things. You have your discussions, is your preferences for comments and so on. And we're going to go through all of these settings later on as well. You have media. This is how you set up your how you want your media to be uploaded and all that other stuff. Anything that has to do with media. Privacy, this is if you want your site to be indexed by Google or not. And permalinks, how you want your URLs to be structured. This is, for example, say you have a post that is I love big dogs. So when you create this post, rather than saying www.ilovedogs.com/p or $P equals 186, which is normally the way WordPress used to do it, you can set it up to where it says your domain /I-love-big-dogs. And that's really good for SEO purposes because it helps Google to determine relevancy and other search engines to determine relevancy. And we'll ignore related posts because that's a plugin. And that's it. That is all you are going to be seeing on a general basis in the back end when it comes to all these different options. I know it's a lot. Don't worry, it is not nearly as hard as you're probably thinking it is. But there is a lot to learn. But I promise you, the learning curve, even though it's steep at first, it will get better. I promise. Well, with that, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to send an email, and I will in the next video we will be going over various things such as posts and pages.